WrestleMania predictions dropping tomorrow, but before we get there, let's talk about Raw and Smackdown.
What's up, guys? The phenomenal AJ Styles, and you're watching Bretto Live.
This is the Week in Review, episode 301, where we talk about Raw, we talk about Smackdown in a WWE action figure setup style. We are so close to WrestleMania. Yeah, I'm going to be reviewing both nights of that show in a WWE action figure setup style, so stay tuned for it. But before we get there, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. About halfway through the video, we're going to be talking about Smackdown, so let's do it. Monday Night Raw was from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Finally, some confirmation on this World Women's Championship match that's going to be happening at WrestleMania. Last week, that match ended in controversy where Bianca Belair was the special guest referee for the title match. Adam Pearce admitted, he's like, yeah, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have put you in that situation, Bianca. You weren't the best referee, and I could agree with Adam Pearce on that. They didn't keep it very professional last week. So Adam Pearce just said, screw it, turned it into a triple threat match, and he got all these women to sign the contract as Io Sky got disrespected again, I might add. Rhea Ripley shoved her face again. I don't understand why they just think they could disrespect Io Sky like that. But Io Sky got a little revenge. Drop kick to Rhea Ripley, who went right into Bianca Belair, and then Io Sky leaves with her championship. But yes, I'm so glad we finally have confirmation this is going to be a triple threat at WrestleMania for the World Women's Championship. Lyra Valkyria defended her Women's Intercontinental Championship up against Bayley. The reason she gave her this match is, I guess, Lyra lost to Bayley like a couple months back, and she wanted to, reestablish her dominance over Bayley. This match was actually an instant classic. Great opener match for this episode of Raw. And yes, we did see Lyra Valkyria pick up the victory and retain her championship just with a little pinning combination on Bayley. She just skated by. Bayley had her. Bayley could have tapped her out if she left the Boston Crab locked in, but she didn't. Lyra Valkyria skates by with the victory. After the match, Bayley shows some respect to Lyra. She hugs it out, shakes her hand, even though she didn't really want to. Dude, the six-man tag team match went so hard. LWO, Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, and Dragon Lee fighting Brutus and Julius Creed and El Grande Americano. I had my doubts, but no. Yeah, it's Chad Gable. Same physique, same moveset. It's him. The part where Joaquin Wilde used, human beings as stair steps to launch himself to the outside of the ring. Absolutely out of this world insane. But in the end, Ivy Nile's gonna hand El Grande Americano some sort of metal plate to put in his mask for a headbutt on Rey Mysterio. Little cheap shot. Rey Mysterio is on ringside, and then he delivered a flying headbutt on Dragon Lee with that metal plate in his mask, allowing for El Grande Americano to pick up the victory. Rey Mysterio would later ask for a match at WrestleMania against El Grande Americano. That's pretty wild. That'd be a good match, but I just can't believe that's at WrestleMania. Gunther made an appearance on this episode of Raw, flaunting his beatdown on Jimmy Uso last week. Jey Uso came out, and this was a very different Jey Uso. This wasn't like Yeet Jey Uso coming out, yeeting with the crowd. No, he was wearing all black, and he meant business. He was locked in. He came down to the ring. I'm not afraid of you anymore. I'm not afraid of you, Gunther. I had to talk to my family. You made this personal because my family was brought into this, including Jimmy Uso. I'm not afraid of you. No hands were even thrown. No brawls broke out in this freaking promo. It was just straight down to business. Jey Uso, not afraid of Gunther, and he's going to win that World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. You can even see the scare in Gunther's eyes now. Now Gunther's like, whoa, he's not afraid of me anymore? Crap. But Jey Uso locking in on the microphone. Great job. It was a WWE Tag Team Championship match. The Viking Raiders defended their World Tag Team Championships up against the Heel Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. This match ended very interestingly. So Xavier Woods is going to bring a steel chair in the ring. I don't know what he intended to do with it, because if you use a steel chair, you can't win the championship. You'll just be disqualified. Then Ivar uses the chair on Woods. Referee sees it. War Raiders are going to lose by disqualification, but they still retain the titles. So the New Day's pissed off. They attack him after the match, and they basically target the neck, surgically repaired neck of Eric. Put it in a steel chair. Looked to literally end his career. Don't know what they were thinking. Luckily, security came out and kind of broke it up, but I was like, oh my god, bro. This could have been really, really bad. Man, they were about to end Eric's career. They had an amazing hype video for Cody Rhodes. He wasn't there at this episode of Raw, but he is the last of his kind. Penta went one-on-one with Dominic Mysterio. This match was actually fire, bro. Dominic Mysterio hit the toilet driver, bro, according to Pat McAfee. It was amazing. Penta is going to avoid the distractions from Carlito, who was on ringside, and beat Dominic Mysterio with the Penta driver. Pretty good match. After the match, Carlito attacks Penta. Then it leads to Braun Breaker making a little entrance, spearing the living snot out of Carlito, literally like a car crash on ringside. I was like, oh my god, somebody check on Carlito. Like, Braun Breaker literally did a front flip, spearing Carlito. Braun would take out Penta, he'd take out Carlito, he'd take out Dom, and then it would lead to Finn Balor sneak attacking Braun, holding up the Intercontinental Championship, but it didn't last very long. Luckily, Braun wasn't able to hit a spear on Finn Balor, and kind of disregards Dominic Mysterio, because yeah, they made it official. It's going to be a fatal four-way at WrestleMania. Dom, Penta, Finn, and Braun for the Intercontinental Championship. But Braun Breaker technically gets the last laugh here. And very interesting promo here to top off this episode of Raw. Paul Heyman, he's not choosing sides. He's not turning on his tribal chief. He's not turning on his best friend. He made that 100% clear in this promo, but he gets interrupted by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins tells Paul, do you really think these people care about you? Do you think CM Punk cares about you? Is he there to save you? Do you think Roman Reigns cares about you when Solo Sikoa sent you through that announce table? Like, this was a great promo from Seth Rollins. Got me thinking that maybe Paul Heyman joined Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and helped Seth Rollins win the match. Seth Rollins is like, you know what? I'm going to take you out of this equation at WrestleMania. So he threatened to take out Paul Heyman. Luckily, CM Punk did come down to help out Paul Heyman. But then CM Punk would eat a curb stomp in the ring, spared Paul Heyman from a curb stomp, and said, now you owe me a favor, Paul. So does that mean Paul's going to help Seth at WrestleMania? Oh my God, am I confused now. It's going to be a great cinematic triple threat match. Wow. I'm going to give this show a solid 8 out of 10. I thought it flowed. I thought it was pretty good. Favorite moment was easily the Jey Uso promo. My favorite match was the LWO versus American Made. You guys say we jump into SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown from Seattle, Washington. What a banger of a show this was. Straight up. To the point. Solid stuff. Does it need to be 3 hours? No, but it was still a solid episode of SmackDown. Let's talk about it. Opening up the show with Mr. Nicholas Aldis, the GM of SmackDown. He would call out Randy Orton and he wanted to talk business. He wanted to talk about Randy Orton possibly having a match at WrestleMania. Before they could really get down to business, well, first of all, Randy Orton kind of apologized, but not really for the RKO. He didn't say it was personal. He just said, hey, come on, you had to have expected. I paid for it last year. Randy would get interrupted by Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. They'd eventually attack Randy Orton, then that would lead to LA Knight coming out, helping out Randy Orton, and they'd set up for a tag team championship match in the main event. I really wanted to see Kevin Owens just randomly attack Randy, and I just wish that neck injury was not real, man. Gosh darn it. Get well soon, Kevin. We had our Women's Tag Team Championship #1 contender gauntlet match, and this isn't just a #1 contender, bro. The winner faces Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania, so the stakes were high as snot for this match. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, who literally fought each other on Monday Night Raw for the Intercontinental Championship, had to team together, and they teamed amazing. I love them as a tag team, bro. They were kicking so much butt. They beat literally every single tag team that was in the match. PFC, Natalya and Maxine Dupree. Also, Natalya wasn't too happy with Maxine for not tagging her in. Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, B-Fab, and Michin. And the Secret Hervis, who put up probably the biggest fight over Bayley and Lyra, but Bayley and Lyra beat the Secret Hervis and punched their ticket to WrestleMania. They're going to be fighting Liv and Raquel for the tag team titles. And I'm actually really excited for that match, bro. The chemistry that Bayley and Lyra have, teaming together, fighting against each other, is just amazing. So Damian Priest was making his way out to the ring, and I think he was going to talk some sort of business with the street fight that's going to be happening at WrestleMania between him and Drew. Drew McIntyre would attack Damian Priest during his entrance, and this was like an insane assault. He'd slam his head into the barricade multiple times. It would lead to Drew McIntyre, who was wearing an eye patch, by the way, and supposedly wasn't medically cleared after being sent through that windshield of the vehicle. Drew McIntyre said this street fight's going to be a living hell for Damian Priest at WrestleMania. And Damian Priest would somehow make his way back out, literally dragging himself back to the ring, fighting security. He wanted a piece of Drew, but did he really? Because eventually, Damian Priest would be slammed in the face with steel stairs. Drew McIntyre hit one of the most wicked Future Shock DDTs I've ever seen. It was literally on the steel stairs. Absolutely insane. Like, bro, Damian Priest, his eyes nearly rolled to the back of his head. He was like buzzed on the floor. And seeing like a literal buzzed Damian Priest staring at Drew McIntyre was insane to see. Somebody's got to check on Damian Priest after this DDT. It was insane. Hey, Rey Fenix with his second ever singles match in WWE. Who did he fight? He fought Bretto from Legado del Fantasma. This was a great match, man. Bretto and Fenix had such amazing chemistry. Oh, both of them. Not just Fenix. I'm not just going to glaze Fenix, dude. Bretto looked amazing too in this. In the end, we did see Fenix hit the Mexican Muscle Buster, like modified Muscle Buster that Samoa Joe used to do. So cool from Fenix to beat Bretto. And a very interesting interaction after this match between Santos Escobar and Bretto. Santos was very disappointed in Bretto, as you can tell, and she forced Bretto to shake the hand of Fenix. Very control freak leader is Santos, in my opinion. I don't know. He treats Bretto and Angel like his children. It just does not work. Berto's got to somehow get away from Santos and maybe join Andrade, bro. But man, Phoenix looking good. Hopefully somehow he finds his way in the WrestleMania match. Zelina Vega went one-on-one with the Women's United States Champion Chelsea Green. This was a non-title match, so Zelina Vega, if she were to win, probably should get a title match in the future. And Zelina did win by a very interesting ending. So Chelsea Green was interacting with the commentators, and then she kind of forgot that the referee was counting. The referee counts to 10. Zelina Vega's in the ring, so Chelsea Green loses by countout. So yeah, either way, it wouldn't have been a new United States champion because you can't win the title via countout. But anyways, this ought to lead to Zelina Vega getting a future U.S. title opportunity and hopefully winning. But it's probably not going to happen. Chelsea Green is too over with this Secret Harvest thing. This was such an interesting promo from Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes would make a promo with a bunch of old designs of the WWE Championship, including the spinner belt, the winged eagle belt, multiple designs, and he'd run down all the different lists of champion, basically getting to the point that Cena, you are not gonna take this WWE Championship from us, because obviously Cena's plan is to win the title, retire with the championship. Cody Rhodes is trying to thwart that effort by John Cena. You guys heard him say Brock in this promo, which was pretty freaking cool. But no John Cena in this segment. He said Seattle wasn't good enough for his farewell tour. I'm like, what, Cena? What are you talking about? Seattle's great, bro. Come on. Tiffany Stratton and Roxanne Perez got into it backstage. It would lead to Tiffany Stratton challenging Roxanne to a match, and she'd get it. Nick Aldis agreed. So it was one-on-one Roxanne versus Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton would pick up the victory. She'd hit the prettiest moonsault on Roxanne Perez and win the match. After the match, Charlotte's going to attack Tiffany Stratton, drag her to the outside, and absolutely beat the snot out of her. Send her over to the announce desk. But Wade Barrett actually stepped in and said, Charlotte, what the heck are you doing? Back off. You're going to lose your dang job. You're going to lose the WrestleMania match. Back off. So Wade Barrett actually stopped this attack from Charlotte. So Wade Barrett might have a thing for Tiffany Stratton. Is Wade Barrett also in Tiffany's DMs? Oh my goodness. Charlotte was asked to leave the arena because she attacked Tiffany Stratton in the parking lot earlier in the day. So this was a pretty shocking event. Ooh, Charlotte returns to the arena to attack Tiffany Stratton. Very interesting. It was our main event of the show where Randy Orton and LA Knight teamed up to face Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. Pretty fun main event here for a tag match. Randy Orton and LA Knight, I wouldn't say dominated the match, but they did win the match. LA Knight would hit the BFT on Tama Tonga to pick up the victory for the tag team, as Randy Orton and Solo would fight out of the arena, so they're completely out of the equation. It's just LA Knight who takes the big victory for the tag team, instantly gets attacked by Jacob Fatu, his WrestleMania opponent for the U.S. title. So Jacob Fatu's going to attack from behind, hit multiple little hits in the corner, and then he does his couple moonsaults off the top rope, just looking like an absolute stud. I love LA Knight, don't get me wrong, but I'm really hoping that Jacob Fatu takes that United States Championship at WrestleMania. He deserves it. He's hot right now. He could literally solidify himself as the new leader of, like, the new bloodline, if you will. But yeah, this was a great way to end the show. But no, man, no Kevin Owens. But that was a solid episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Obviously, there were some backstage segments here or there, but I just covered the main highlights of the show. Favorite match was Rey Fenix versus Bretto. My favorite moment was easily this Future Shock DDT on the steel stairs. This was intense. And ranking the entire show out of 10, I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. Stay tuned for WrestleMania predictions dropping tomorrow. It's going to be a banger video. Me and Brother Dink running down both the Saturday and Sunday match card for WrestleMania, so stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys next week where we talk about Raw, SmackDown, both nights of WrestleMania. It's going to be in a jam-packed week of uploads. So turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. Brother Live is out.
Until you shed the